Thank you for joining us today at Miniature Wargaming Labs. Today we'll be going over how I painted Black Powder Red Earth Shurta guys. So this is get them to tabletop standard quick, realizing that they're not that important or survivable. So to paint this guy, I primed him standard Mechanicus gray. I used P3's Beast Hide, Umbral Umber, Thamer Black, and then I used Army Painter Tanned Flesh and Skeleton Bone. Then I used Vallejo German Camouflage Beige World War II. Then out of the Citadel line I used Stirland Mud, Seraphim Sepia, and Reikland Flesh Shade. So the idea was to get the 20 Shurta I had painted up, and I did it in 5 days since I had to work. But let's go ahead and get started on this guy. So I've primed my model standard Mechanicus gray. I'm going to lead off with some P3 Beast Hide and shake the camera. Alright, so we'll open that, put that off to the side here. And I will take the brush I've destroyed already. And we're just going to slop this on. Pretty much, this is just for the uniform and the wrap. But if it gets other places, it's not really a big deal. We can be sloppy at this point. Now we're going to do his boots. I'm going to use P3's Umbral Umber. So when I painted up the hauling bin and the Wushab, I used Umbral Umber. So the one thing I'm going to keep consistent about their uniforms is the boots. The boots on all these guys are going to be the same color. And even if the B-side's a little wet on there, like we just did that's fine. It'll all dry eventually. Now I'm going to texture the base. I'm going to use some Stirland Mud. Don't worry, you can always get some like Elmer's glue, PVA glue, some sand. And that'll do just fine. I just like how I can control this and shape it with what Games Workshop calls a brush, even though it's just a thin piece of plastic. So we'll just texture around. If you want, you can throw some rocks on. Now while we wait for that base to dry, we're going to take some P3 Thamer Black. And where did I put my brush? Ah, there it is. What we're going to do is his weapon system, his gloves. Let's see, his little mask. Try not to hit the turban there. And then, now when I'm going to paint it black. So let's start off with that. When I did the Mushab, the Hong Bin, their webbing was green, the same color green. So I want these guys to be in black, because even though their boots match the other guy, I'm going to have their webbing be like, you guys got the Chinese knockoff stuff. So anything we mess up here we'll touch up later with the Beast Hide again. But it's pretty simple to write on top here. The trick on this model will just be getting behind the gun, but regardless, his vest and magazines are all going to be black. That shouldn't be too much of an issue. Next we're going to take some Army Painter Tanned Flesh, and I'm going to take my tiny brush, because he has a little bit of skin poking out here. If you're wondering about the eyeballs, I don't paint eyeballs anymore. What's the point? No one sees them. I'll move this process along. So once we get this paint in here, I'm just going to rotate the model. You should remember, move your model around your brush, not your brush around your model. Remember your brush discipline. Alright, the Stirland Mud's still drying. The rest of this is painted on and is dry enough to apply a wash of Seraphim Sepia, one of my favorites. So I'm going to wet a beat up dry brush, and we're just going to slop this all in there. I have to turn them upside down so I don't get any dry pockets. I'll get down into the boots. I'll try to stay on camera here. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to let this dry and go to bed. I'll deal with this tomorrow. Now our little Shurta is all dried up. And we might stop there, but why not keep going? So I'm going to take some Vallejo German Camouflage Beige, World War II. But any of the darker tans would work. That's just the color I picked for a lot of my desert terrain. So I put a little piece on, a little bit of paint on there. Let me show you how I'm going to do this. So I have a little piece of paper off camera here, and I'm going to wipe off a lot of the paint. Still wiping. I still see some paint coming off. Oh, now I'm losing it. Can't really see it. That's perfect. And then what I'll do is I'll pick 45-degree angle. And go around like that until he's as dusty as you like. I just want to make sure to get all the edges of the pouches so they light up. I think we're good on that. I'm going to do the base. Didn't do this on the Hong Ben, on the Moochob, but it's Army Painter Skeleton Bone. That's just what I picked when I did decided on desert base. I try to keep it consistent across all my lines here, so I'm going to use a small pointy brush to do around the boots. Once that's done, I'll switch to a brush I've messed up, and I'll just fill in the rest. Just because it's textured, it tears up brushes. Now we're going to take some Reikland Flesh Aid, and this will be the last step for us tonight. I've painted a ton of these guys so far. In between filming here, it's a nice thick coat. Keep the model level so it sits nice and easy. And this is really make that texture pop up. And then once you're done with that, you would paint the rim of the base. I like to draw off, don't want it pulling around the boots. Make it look like he's dipping in mud or something. Okay. Come on, smooth out. Nice smooth. Come on, be smooth. Come on, be smooth. There we go. Alright. Now we're going to let that dry. Now paint the rim whatever color you use to match the base. I normally go for Bugman's Glow for my sand bases, but pick whatever you like. So that's it for Miniature Wargaming Labs, and we'll see you next time.